in a FIDEC. Flip back and forth between the Heat and the 76ers. Nope. In a FIDEC. Hit the DIDEC. Let y'all all foul in here. We are in effect, no doubt. So, what up, guys? How y'all doing tonight? Everybody good? Word. What up, E? What up, Kev? What up, Eric? How you doing? King Minus. What up, King 90? What's up, brother? Good? Let me adjust my camera. I'm a little bit, I'm a little too high. There we go. Need to adjust my camera a little bit. So, I had this conversation earlier today where I was talking about Father Time catching up with James and how we've seen this dude play at such a high level that we just expect him to keep doing this because he's been doing it for so long that there's no reason to think that he can't keep doing this. Well, there actually is reason to think that he can't keep doing this. And the reason is because James is getting old, man. James is old. And those injuries are starting to mount up. And it's making it a lot more difficult for him to keep going at the level that he's going at the consistency that he's going at, for that consistent time. He can't keep doing it. When you start having non-contact injuries like what he had last night, when you start doing stuff like that, then it gets tricky. And you start to wonder, yo, can this dude hold on for a little longer? Like I have people say to me, yo, he's going to play 5 more years. I'm thinking, he's not going to hold up for 5 more years, yo. He's not. It's not going to happen. He's waiting on his boy. He already passed Jabbar for the scoring champion, for the scoring title. For the scoring title. He already did that. And I think he's waiting on his boy. I think James is going to be out of the game in the next 3 years. And the reason why I think he's going to be out of the game in the next 3 years, not because he can't play, but because his body is not going to allow him. How he plays, his body is not going to allow him to continue at that level. And I can't see James averaging like 16 or 15 a game. I can't see him doing it. No. What I can see is I can see him sticking around, waiting on his kid, because his kid's going to go to school. I can see him sticking around and waiting on his kid. And then bowing out gracefully. Because the last thing that's going to happen is he's going to play at 42 or 43 years old and just be dragging or looking average. That's not realistic, man. It's not. No. That is not realistic. And I'm one of these people I try to be a realist as much as possible. Right? I try to be a realist as much as possible. And kind of like Jay in 2003, where I wanted Jay to stick around for a little while longer, even though it was obvious that Jay didn't have it anymore. Jay was washed. He was still good, but he wasn't Jay anymore. And there was no reason for him to still stick around. None. So that's kind of the same logic with James, where he is in that space where I look at this dude, I'm thinking to myself, how much longer is his body going to allow him to play at this level? How much longer can he do it at this level? He could stick around for 5-6 more years. No question about it. He could definitely stick around for 5 more years. The question is how long is his body going to allow him to play at this level? How long is his body going to allow him to run that fast and jump that high before he breaks down? And every great athlete recognizes when it's time. Like, I just don't have it anymore. I can still do it. I just can't do it like that at that consistent level anymore. I can still do it. I just can't do it night in and night out like I did 5 years ago. I can't do it night in and night out like I did 10 years ago. I can't do it. And because of that, I think that in the next 3 years, James is going to be retired. Not because he can't play anymore, because I still think he can stick around. But I think the difference is that his body won't allow him to play like he's playing now. It just won't. It won't. One of the main reasons why Jabbar played for as long as Jabbar played, because he had to. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Jabbar's house burnt down. And in the process of Jabbar's house burning down, he needed to salvage. He needed to salvage that. And he needed money. I don't think he would have played 5 more years. No way. I don't think he would have played 3 more years. After the reins got turned over to Magic in '87, in the '86-'87 season, Jabbar could have bowed out. He could have gracefully bowed out right after that season. When they won the NBA championship, he could have bowed out. I'm out. He could have done that. But nah, he's going to keep playing it. The reason why is because, again, out of necessity, Jabbar clearly wasn't what he used to be. And to watch him like that, knowing that, yo, I don't have it like I used to have it. Hello, Jillian, dear. And to know that I don't have it like I used to have it, but I'm still out here and I'm at least solid, is almost a discredit to me. Because, like, I shouldn't have to do this. And it's the same thing with James. Same thing with Jordan. Same thing. These guys, athletes in particular, they retire because physically I can't do what I used to be able to do as much as I used to be able to do it. I can still play. Yeah, I can still do that. I just can't play. I just can't play at the consistent basis like I did before. So let me address something real quick. Bubba, you're asking me, why did Bryant play for 20 seasons then? Why did he play for 20 seasons? Bryant played for 20 seasons. He didn't play for 20 seasons because he had to. I think you're equating Jabbar and Bryant into those things. Those are two different things. Those two things are not the same thing. Bryant played because he still loved the game. And he didn't want to go out like he went out when he started breaking down. So when he tore his Achilles, and then when his knee cracked, and then when his shoulder cracked, he didn't want to go out like that. No, I'm not going to go out like that. I'm going to go out on my own terms. I don't have to play. I don't have to keep playing, but I'm going to go out on my own terms. I'm not going to go out limping off the floor. No, I'm going to go out playing all 82 games, playing every night, and showing that I'm going to give the people what they need. There's no way he just couldn't play anymore. Now, he couldn't play like he used to, sure. But he wasn't going to go out like the dude in 2013 when he tore his Achilles. He wasn't going to go out like the dude who tore his shoulder. No, he's not going out like that. No, I'm going to heal up, which is the same reason why I'm going to heal up, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to play the entire season. Same logic with Magic. Magic didn't want to go out like he went out in 91. That's why he came back, because I don't want to go out like that. I think you're equating Jabbar and Bryant in the same space, and they're not. They're not in the same space. No, they're not. Andrew, you're the only dude that come into my comments. You're a troll, and I'm 100% clear on this, and I'm about to block you because you don't come in here with any intellect, nothing. You are a troll, and you don't come into my comments with anything legit. I'm also under the impression that you're a kid too. So there's no reason for me to talk to you because I can't have an intelligent conversation with you. You are the only one, not just here. You are the only one, not just here. You are the only one that I have heard anywhere that talks about Jayson Tatum like he being a Boston Celtic fan. You are the only one that I've heard. If there's anybody that I've heard, I haven't heard anybody that has a franchise player to that level. I haven't heard of anybody that has a franchise player at that level be that critical of him like you are with this guy who has the potential to be an all-time great, except you ain't got nothing good to say about him. In fact, you live for every time you see me, you got some nonsense to say about him. Every time you see me, not every other time, not every third time. All you say to me, he's not close to Luka. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. Yo, how many teams of the 30 teams in the NBA, how many teams have first-team all-league performers? Multiple first-team all-league performers. How many of them? Can somebody in here tell me how many of them have multiple first-team all-league performers? Well, the Boston Celtics do, because Jayson Tatum's going to be a first-team all-league performer again this year. He's one of the few guys. There are not many teams that have multiple first-team all-NBA performers. There are not many. But whenever I talk to you, the first thing you say to me is Tatum this. Everything is negative. Same thing with King. And the most interesting part of this conversation is these guys bring up, what about the finals? Not what about what happened in the playoffs, not what happened in the regular season or what happened what happened in the NBA finals in your lifetime, right? In your lifetime, you guys that I'm talking to right now, in your lifetime, how many guys can you tell me that you've seen that are in the NBA finals as the lead dog? They're the lead dog. How many guys have you seen in the NBA finals in year 5? They're the lead dog. How many? How many have you seen? So in my lifetime, in year 5, Magic, but it was still a question about him and Jabbar. It was still a question about him and Jabbar. It was still a question of maybe Jabbar being the best. Bird, right? Let's see. James, and that was year 4. Shaq. This is in year 5. Duncan. Let's see. Who else am I thinking about? I'm not thinking about, I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head. Those are the 5 guys that I can think about just off the top of my head alone. Off the top of my head alone. Those are the guys that I think about off the top of my head alone. But anyway, so I saw something last night, man, with Damian Lillard that a lot of people, I don't think that they talked about nearly as much as they should have. And I mean, the fact that Dame did what he did in terms of Dame doing what he did in terms of scoring, a lot of people leave out that the shots that Dame was taking last night, those weren't ill-advised shots. That's Dame's game. Those weren't heat checks, right? Those were not heat checks. Not only was that not a heat check, those weren't erratic shots. That was part of Damian Lillard's game. That's who he is. And he got roasted. Not roasted. Roasted is not the word I want to use. He got kind of thrown to the wayside because he got hurt last year. So there was a bunch of people who, started to play better. Understand the difference between playing better and being a better player. So there was some guys that were playing better because he was out the lineup. And because he was out the lineup, right? And because he was out the lineup, there were a lot of people that kind of just wrote him off, right? There were a lot of people that just wrote him off. And because there were people who just wrote him off, I'm sure he took that personal. And I felt like when he came back this season, he was going to dispel all of that nonsense and remind people, I'm still here. And not only am I still here, I still got the goods. I still got the goods. I'm still that dude. I'm still nicer than XYZ. I'm still a generational talent. No doubt about that. I'm still that dude. No question. So because of that, right? So because of that, you saw what you saw last night. And people leave out, Damian Lillard, up until a month before the All-Star break, 1 month before the All-Star break, coming into the All-Star break, he was 38-8, doing work, completely kicking ass. Completely kicking ass. Hold on for a second. OG, is Dame a top 3 scoring point guard all time? I got Jerry West, Steph, and him. Ones that can just torch you and drop 40, 50, or 60 on any random night. Well, I don't think Steph is a point guard, and I don't think Jerry West is a point guard. So if you're talking about just a scoring guard, a scoring point guard, was Dame a better scorer than Oscar Robertson? He probably was a better scorer than Isaiah Thomas. Now, the rules are different. Don't get me wrong. I think the rules are a lot different. I think he was a better scorer than Isaiah Thomas. I think he was a better overall scorer than Steve Nash. I think he was a better overall scorer than Magic. A scorer. Because he shot a lot of volume shot. He shot in volume. Magic wasn't really that way. And when I think about Dame's ability to score the basketball, he did it more in volume, which, again, volume matters. But when we're doing that, Kyrie is not better than Damian Lillard. You can kill that king. You could go ahead, King. I'm telling you right now to your face, my man. You could go have that argument with somebody else because I am not entertaining that. I promise you that, B. I don't care what else you say to me. You won't get another word out of me. I'm not even entertaining the Dame and Kyrie logic. So kill it. I'm good. So in terms of volume, the thing about that that's tricky is if you're doing that, then you got to do that with everything. You got to do that when we talking about volume. You got to do that with rebounding. You got to do that with assists. You got to do that with blocks. You got to do that with all of that stuff. Now, Damian Lillard as a scorer, to his ability to stretch the defense, right? Not only his ability to stretch the defense, his ability to stop and pop in transition, his ability to score on big guys, his ability to score on guys his size, his ability to stretch the D and completely thwart your defense. There aren't many guards. Forget lead guards. There aren't many guards that I can say that were better. There aren't many. Maybe Oscar. I mean, Oscar had an 8-year stretch where he averaged 30 a game. 30 a game, Oscar went. From 61 to 69, Oscar averaged 30 a game. So, like I said, I put Jerry West, James Harden, Allen Iverson, Steph Curry, all of them dudes are in the same category. Them dudes ain't league guards. Them dudes is combo guards. No doubt about that. I think that those dudes are combo guards, and they're in a different space than Magic, Oscar, Isaiah Thomas, Stockton, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, guys like that. Chris Paul. I think that they're in that space. I think that they're in a different space than those dudes. No doubt. No doubt about it. So, he has been arguably, I'm not going to say arguably, I'm going to take that back. When I think about Damian Lillard, he has been arguably, I can't put together an argument to say that he wasn't the second best league guard during his era. He wasn't better than Steph. I'm not going to go there. There's a conversation between him and Russ. And the reason why there's a conversation between him and Russ, because Russ represents 6 point guards in NBA history to win the league MVP during his reign. Kuzi, Oscar, Magic, Nash, Derrick Rose, Russ. Those 6 guys right there. Those are the only ones. So those are the 6 guards right there. So of those 6 guards, that's a pretty big feat. The fact that he's one of 6 guards to win the league, one of the 6 point guards to win the league MVP during his era. So no, I didn't forget Steph. Keyshawn, Steph is not a point guard. How many times I got to tell you that? Enough already with the Steph being a point guard. No, he's not. Magic was a point guard. Oscar Robertson was a point guard. Jason Kidd was a point guard. Chris Paul is a point guard. Russell Westbrook is a point guard. Walt Frazier is a point guard. John Stockton was a point guard. These guys are point guards. He's not a lead guard. He's in the same category with James Harden, with Allen Iverson, with Jerry West, with guys like that. That's where he is. Now, when I think about what Dame has done over the course of his time in the league and during his era, he's been not just a top 10 player, but he's been a top 3 guard during his era. That's pretty incredible, man. That is pretty incredible. That's pretty incredible for a guy to do that and to be a first-team All-NBA performer during quite possibly the best point guard era, or not even a point guard era, arguably the best guard era. So Curry, Irv, Westbrook, Paul, Lillard, Kyle Lowry, John Wall, like just that era alone, and for him to be a first-team All-NBA performer during that era, man, that's pretty incredible, man. That is pretty incredible. And for this Portland team, for him basically to be, because when I think about it, I'm not, with the exception of Curry, I'm not taking none of them dudes over him. I'm not taking, and I see how good Irv is. I see how good Russ is. I'm not taking none of them dudes over Damian Lillard. None of them. I'm not taking, with the exception of Curry, I'm not taking none of them. I'm not taking none of them dudes over him. Not one of them. I will not. I'm not. So he's incredible. He is absolutely incredible. Who said anything about him making first-team All-NBA this year, King? What are you talking about? He's made first-team All-NBA. Are you listening at all? No, you're not. You're just talking. I can get with you though. I can understand. You just want to be heard, and I got you. I'm with you. I'm with you. So we see what it is. I'm going to make sure that it's actually on right now. I'm going to hop into this. I had I had the Heat Philly game on, and I'm going to hop into Knicks in Boston. Really quick. Hang on for a second. You haven't gotten started yet. You're about to, but all right. Hold on, I got a call on line one, guys. Let me take this really quick. What up?
What up, Chilltown? How you doing?
What up?
I'm a Celtic fan. I like what you were saying about Jayson Tatum, but I just joined like 10 minutes ago.
Yep.
What I was gonna say. My question to you is:
I just get these dudes that come into my comments. This one dude in particular that comes into my comments, and he talks about him like he's just fringe. And I'm thinking to myself, how many teams? Not just this season, right? Let's just go off the last 5 years. How many teams can you look at and go, this team got a dude, we building our unit around him. We got a franchise player in him. How many teams have that? Not many, yo. Not many.
Not many. Yeah.
And when I watch this dude, how many teams have a first-team All-NBA performer? Not many.
5 years, right?
Right. How many teams have a guy that's on their team that's a first-team All-NBA performer? And this guy is going to be first team this year too, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. He running for MVP.
Not many. How many teams have guys who are in the conversation for league MVP? Which I thought
Giannis what year was Giannis in when he won MVP?
That was in year 5. That was in the 8. That was 18-19. That was 5 seasons ago. Okay. 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, 21-22, 22-23. That's 5 years ago. 5 seasons ago. So when you get guys like that, right? When you get a guy like that, there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be times when you see stuff from him and you're going to be like, damn, I wish he did this or he did this more. But watching him the other night against the 76ers, I'm watching this dude and completely leaving out. Everybody's looking at the fact that he didn't shoot the ball very well. He went 7 for 17. Right. And the fact that he does that because he falls in love with the long ball. He doesn't have that in between in his game yet. That in between, that 15 to 18, that 12 to 15, that's not in his game yet. And it's not in his game at a consistent level. Once that gets in his game at a consistent level, he's got all the other stuff, finishing at the rim, shooting the long ball. I think he's a top 3 player for the next 5 to 8 years. Right. That's first of all. I've seen him improve as a defender, right? So with all of that being said, these are the growing pains of him. But to have a guy like that, you would think that to see a potential generational talent, you would think that, yo, you need to get behind this dude if that's your crew. I ain't even a Boston Celtics fan. And I watch him and I'm like, yo, I'm big on him. I'm huge on him.
And if you're not biased, even though you're a LeBron guy.
Right. And I'm big. I love this kid. But to listen to these dudes talk about him like he's just fringe, I'm thinking to myself, what am I missing? I've been around the game for a long time. And I know what an all-time great looks like. And that's what this dude looks like. It's just growing pains right now. That's what this dude looks like.
They take away from what he did in the first 5 years. And remind you, he didn't even enter his prime yet. He's only, what, 24? You get what I'm
25 saying? Next month.
25 next month.
He turned 25 next month.
Right now, he got the best record in the entire NBA. and he's front runner for MVP, and he was a starter on the All-Star team, 4-time All-Star.
Don't leave out the fact, my man, that he's been doing this. Marcus Smart out the lineup, Robbie Williams in and out the lineup.
No Brogdon.
No Brogdon. He's been doing this with these guys in and out the lineup. By the way,
exactly. Blake Griffin
and it's just him.
Sam Hauser. What's that guy we had? When they traded Noah Vonleh, he did it with Noah Vonleh. Peyton Pritchard. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Marcus Smart missed almost 2 months?
Right. And he's still doing it, and he's still at the top of the East, and it's got a lot to do with him.
Jaylen Brown hurt again.
I know I know Jaylen Brown, screwed up his face. That's courtesy of, and I dig Jaylen Brown too. Make no mistake about it. I think he's one of the best one-on-one players in the game.
I robbed at an All-Star team last year, though.
I'm surprised he didn't make the All-Star team this year. He did make the All-Star team. I'm sorry. The All-Star game was so bad, I forgot who was in it, to be honest with you. I didn't even watch it, to be honest. I'll be lying. But it was so bad, man, that it was just so bad. But as you were saying,
Ant-Man. They didn't pick Ant-Man. They didn't pick De'Aaron Fox. That's what made me mad.
Fox got in. Fox ultimately got in
because KD and Curry got hurt. That's
right.
BS.
It was. I thought it was. It was.
Bro, who made it? Jaren Jackson definitely deserved it. Somebody told me that Jaren Jackson don't deserve it over AD because AD has more points. But you got to look at Jaren Jackson's impact. His defensive numbers is better. You get what I'm saying? And he played more games. You get what I mean? So Jaren Jackson is what, the third option? Because Desmond Bane is like what, the second leading scorer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So you know what I mean? So he's not asked to do the number one thing. AD is the number one option on the Lakers. Feel me? Other than him and Bryant, even though they take turns, AD don't never want to take over like that. It normally be LeBron. Right. Because LeBron been trying to give him the keys to take over the team, but he never want to take over the team and lead. Right. You get what I'm saying? And LeBron, he's still one of the greatest players of all time, right? But LeBron, like people get mad at me when I say LeBron is no longer a number one option. He's still elite. He's still a superstar. He's just a regression superstar.
Well, he shouldn't be. That's the thing, though. That's the thing, though, T. Should he be? I mean, how many, if you think about the guys in the league, not just today, in the history, if your team is dependent on a 38-year-old to be the lead guy, that's not good. Right. So I'm not saying that he can't score, but should he have to do that? No, he's in year 20. I already did that. Guys, a chance though. Yeah. But a lot of those guys is inconsistent, they streaky. You know what I mean? So. Fact. Absolutely, brother. I know where to find you at. What's up? What's your one last question? So, what's your prediction on the like the finals? Like who you got going to the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals? I had the Milwaukee Bucks winning the NBA championship. I said that before the season started, and I'm still standing on that. I think that they're going to be in a dogfight with the Boston Celtics, and I look at that series, and I've mentioned this in the past. The Boston Celtics, your starting five, your rotation. You look at the Milwaukee Bucks. Everything you got, we got. Everything. Right. You got it. You got a deep bench in Boston. Yo, we got arguably the best rotation player in the game in Bobby Portis, right? We got one of the better long ball. You got a long ball shooter and a scorer in Derrick White. We got one of the better long ball shooters in Connaughton. We got one of the best bench players again in Brown, right? So we got guys like that. You got a rim protector in Robert Williams. Brook Lopez was in the defensive player of the year conversation, right? So then you get to your starting five. Well, you got a lead guard who's a lockdown defender in Marcus Smart. We got arguably the best perimeter defender in the game in Drew Holiday. That's what I'm saying. We both got the top defending guard. Everything you got, we got. So what this series I think will come down to, my best player is better than your best player. With all things being equal, right? Because Middleton is gonna do what he does. He looks like he's getting better back. He's back in the lineup and he's getting better. So this is gonna boil down to, and I'm a big Jayson Tatum guy. With all things being equal, can you outplay Giannis? Right. That's what this is gonna boil down to. Now in the Western, he's been playing. He's been big for them lately. He no longer Drew Holiday. He's been big for the Bucks. He's no longer like a number 3. He's looking more like a number 2. Yes. But he's not Jaylen Brown though. I say he's a better defender than Jaylen Brown because he's more disciplined. You feel me? But Jaylen Brown is a better all-around player. Right.
And then
he's bigger too. He's bigger too.
Right. Because Jaylen Brown, he's really a 3, but we moved him to the 2 because we had Jayson Tatum. So if we would have put him at, we can't put him at the 4. He's too smart for the 4.
No, we can't do that.
So Jaylen Brown is like a combo guard. What do you call those guards / 4s? What do you call them?
Combo guard.
Yeah, that's what Jaylen Brown is.
Oh, you talking about? Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about a guard / forward. You talking about point forwards? That's what you're talking about. Okay, that's what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying Jaylen Brown is a true floor general. I'm not saying he could play the 1. He could play the wing. He could play the guard. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. I will not fight that. So I'm looking forward to that. Of all the series, I like what Cleveland is doing. I think that they're still a year away. I don't think they're there yet because I think we still watching the maturation of Evan Mobley.
So who knows what they're going to do. And they're hurting.
Yeah.
That's why they went in and got Danny Green and offered him the most money.
Yeah. Anthony.
So I mean, they offered Danny Green a significant role. You feel me?
Yeah, they did. Absolutely, they did.
ACL. He came back fast.
He did. He came back. I was surprised he came back as fast as he did. I was thinking to myself, oh, didn't he just tear up his knee? And this was like 7 months ago. This wasn't even that long. But he was ready to rock and roll again. So, but that's who I see. And in the Western Conference, I still think that the road to the NBA championship goes through the Golden State Warriors. And they're going to be in the playoffs. And until with Dre, Clay, and Steph healthy in the lineup, until somebody puts them out, they're the team to beat out West. I think Denver has the best opportunity to do it. Right. I can appreciate what you're doing in Phoenix. I can appreciate that. But understand that what you gave up in order to get KD, that's going to matter later on. It is. Let
me ask you a question. So if Phoenix don't win this year, I don't consider it a failure because there's 20-some games left. KD's coming off an injury. Chris Paul's injury prone. He's past his prime. So KD got 4 years left on his deal. So all I'm saying is if KD don't win a championship between those 4 years, it's a failure.
Yeah.
But I think Devin Booker will get a ring. So if they lose this year, I'm not going to hold it against Phoenix.
Right. A bunch of people are, though. A bunch of people are. They're not looking at it like that. They're getting on it. I'm basically getting on a crew and you asking me to figure it out in a month.
Right.
That's basically what you're doing. So, all right, brother. Good to talk to you.
Thank you. Shaky.
Absolutely, brother. No doubt.
All right, yo.
What up?
Yeah, I got a couple of topics. So the first one, let me get these little easy ones out the gate. Dame. I thought Dame was gonna make all first team until I realized there's a dude in the West named Luka who's clearly better than Dame this season. So Dame will make second team, which is still good.
Who's the other guard? Who's the other guard in the West?
Nobody else in the West is better than Dame besides
Who's Luka. The other guard? It's 2 guards. Who's the other guard besides Luka?
I don't think you could put 2 point guards.
It's 2 guards. It's 2 guards, 2 forwards in the center. That's the way that works.
So Dame make it. I think he'd be better than John Morant.
2 guards, 2 forwards in the center. That's the way that works.
Book been out. Curry been out. Yo, Curry came back, injured again, came back. Curry, yeah, he not even make it. Yeah, he's out. He's out. Oh, so I thought it was a point guard, shooting guard.
No,
so they make
it's 2 guards. 2 guards, 2 forwards in the center.
I got Dame making it. But as far as next topic, I think Tatum. I like Tatum a lot, but yeah, he's not better than Embiid. I saw this TikTok video. Embiid always been an MVP caliber player. Right. Yes, Tatum outplayed him in the playoffs, but you can't forget what Embiid been doing.
No,
he always been that dude.
I don't have Embiid. I don't have Tatum ahead of Embiid. I don't.
Some people in the season fool him talking about he better than Embiid. No, this is just 1 year of when we started. OG, we've been talking about Embiid MVP for some long time, not just 1 year. This Tatum is only first year, so I think in the next 2 years, but I don't got more than Embiid yet.
He finished twice. He finished twice, and he finished second twice in the last 2 years. So he's been playing at a high level, no doubt.
My last thing to wrap it up: if Giannis is hurt more than 5 games, Jokic wins the MVP running away. Giannis is the only one if he's hurt, OG. Tatum don't stand a chance. John Morant, just name it top teams. OG, do you agree? He wins it running away.
He might. He very well might, yo. That's not ridiculous to say that. He very well might. So
Pete. Well, good talking to you, my man.
All right, brother. You know where to find me at. He might, man. He might, because if you look at what Joker has been doing, I ain't even talking about the 40 and 17 he had last night. Take that off the table. I'm talking about what Denver has done as a unit and how much Joker means to them. Now, the issue that I have is and I'm still standing on this logic, that you want me to talk about Joker. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Joker wins the league MVP. You want me to talk about him like I talk about Lajuan, like I talk about Chamberlain, like I talk about Diesel, like I talk about David Robinson. You want me to talk about Joker like that? Well, Joker has to check the boxes that them dudes did, and he hasn't. And because he hasn't, I can't talk about him like that. Can't do it. What up?
What up? I was watching Player's Choice the other day, and they were talking about a start bench cut between Shea, Ja, and De'Aaron. I was wondering what you were thinking about that.
Well, answer this question for me. Where are they? Where are they? Is Shea a top 10 player in the NBA right now?
No.
So you don't think he's a top 10 player? How about Ja? You think Ja's a top 10 player in the NBA right now?
No, I don't think so.
So you think Shea is a top 15 player in the NBA?
I think he's somewhere from like in the 17 range.
Okay, so between 10 and 17. So top 15, he's out. How about Ja? You think Ja's a top 15 player?
I think he's right around 16, 17. Same.
So you don't think he's a top 15 player neither? So how about De'Aaron Fox? You think he's a top 15 player?
No, I think Fox at the start of this season, I would have him around probably like 21. And I'd say based on this season, he's shown me more in the mid-range, being more consistent. Also, on the break, he used to throw a lot of wild turnovers and stuff because sometimes he would be too fast for himself.
Right.
But this season, he's been very composed, and he's added like a one-step slowdown to where he can like get the ball out of his hands when he needs to.
Now, with that being said, the three guys that we just talked about, you got De'Aaron Fox behind all of them. Now, you got Ja ahead of Shea. So that means that Ja starts, you benching Shea, and you cutting Fox. Now, with that being said, every time, I think with the exception of the one time that they saw each other this year, every time De'Aaron Fox has seen Ja, he has outplayed him. Every time.
Oh, OG, you don't have to. I'm not far off the Fox being above Ja, because what I've seen from Ja this season is almost a regression from last season. Like people aren't really talking about it, but during last season, people were talking about Ja's shooting efficiency, stuff like that. This season, he's shooting horribly. Like I had him ahead before the season started. Yeah, and I got roasted for this. I had Fox ahead of Ja coming into the season. Coming into the season, it's not really ridiculous to be honest.
I had him ahead of Ja. Yes, I did.
Because Fox is just more polished, really. Like his game is more polished all around, and Ja's just more athletic. Right. But Fox plays like when Fox locks in, he can play very good defense. But I'd say like normally for Fox, he's probably around like an average defender to slightly plus. Yeah. But Ja is horrible. Like Ja's a cone on defense. Like if you really watch Ja play defense, he is like almost Trae Young bad. He is bad. I'm not going to say that he's that bad. I do think that he has the benefit of being on a really good defensive team. So you have the ability to see when you're on a good defensive team, you have the ability to hide guys. Stick them in the corner. Not necessarily stick them in the corner more than like an athlete like Ja. What we do is we can put him in situations where he can't be exposed one-on-one. Right. So we put him in situations where if we get him in pick and switch, we can double. Right. Not only can we double, we could speed the game up to hide his deficiency. Now, the problem is the other side of that is that he can score. See, with a guy like Ben Simmons, we can't hide him because he can't do anything else. Yeah. That's the downside. See, the upside with Ja is that Ja can actually score, and he does other things, one in transition and in the half court. And he's not terrible defensively. Yeah. He's not terrible. And he's playing on a good defensive team. So he will block shots, right? He will stick his nose in there and do some of the dirty work. However, when I look at him compared to other guards, I can get with the logic that he's below average. He should be a better defender than what he is. Yeah, especially the athlete that he is. Athleticism and his arms are long. Like Ja has all the tools he needs to be like at least a solid defender. Yeah. And the other thing that I want to say about Fox is Fox, like he's real close. Like the only thing that I'm missing from Fox is just like any type of playoffs. Like I just want to see him, even if he like gets just slightly worse in the playoffs, like ever so slightly worse, and stays the same. He's overdraft for me.
Sure.
Like it's not like, and it's not his fault, but like if you don't see them in the high pressure situations, you really can't know. Like for Shea, you at least know a little bit because we saw him OKC with Chris Paul.
Right.
And for the Clippers, he stepped up both times and he delivered even in a smaller role.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah. Other thing I wanted to bring to you is the Bucks are on like a 13 or 14 game winning streak.
14 games.
I haven't heard anything about Giannis in the MVP race recently. Like nothing. All I hear is Jokic.
That's all you're hearing is Jokic. When Giannis is in the top 5 in the league in scoring, I believe he led the league in rebounding at one point during that time.
He's second right now.
Yeah, I think he's second in the league in rebounding. He's still one of the best defenders in the game. Because he's one of the best defenders in the game, Milwaukee is one of the best defensive teams in the game. Now the question with Giannis is health. Can Giannis hold up? Because Giannis, for some reason, he's been pretty beat up this year.
Yeah, he's supposed to play tomorrow.
Yeah, he's been pretty beat up. It'd be great to get him back in the lineup, no doubt about that. I had Giannis as the league MVP before the season started, and I'm still sticking with that. If Joker were to win the league MVP, it wouldn't bother me because he's essentially doing the same thing this year that he was doing last year, except his team is better. Yeah. So there's no way that I could keep it away from him. I'm not sure that I could keep it away from him because of that. But in terms of what Giannis brings to the Milwaukee Bucks, how much better they are with him on the floor, not just as a defender, not just as a glass cleaner, but as a playmaker, right? As a distributor.
He's so underrated as a playmaker, though, because he only averages like 5 to 6 assists a game. But people don't really understand that the way that they use him in pick and rolls, he's only catching the ball off the short roll and looking to pass like maybe 10 times a game. Like he's not really like oftentimes Giannis is only getting opportunities to pass really on the break. Right. And when he's catching it on the short roll, and then recently Bud hasn't really been electing to run a lot of pick and roll with Giannis. It's more been like pick and pop with Brook Lopez, and then Giannis being on the block as like a drop off guy. Which also with Giannis, the one thing that I found out with Giannis, which I think is incredible, and I don't understand why he doesn't do it more. I'd like to see Giannis turn his brain off. Well, what I mean when I say that is he's the most effective when he just plays. He's thinking the game, and that helps when you think the game, right? I got to make sure that I know what I'm doing. I got to make sure that I'm making the right reads. But when it comes to him shooting the basketball, he overthinks it, right? When it comes to him at the stripe, he's at the stripe. Yo, my man, stop trying to shoot free throws. Just shoot them. Stop trying to shoot the mid range. Just shoot it. I watched him against the Clippers. It was just quick twitch, catch and pop. Well, he adds a hitch into his shot when he starts thinking about it. You can see it. Once he gets towards the top of his release, he holds on to it until he starts coming down instead of shooting it when he's at the peak of his shot. So everything just ends up being short. He'll airball. He'll be off right. And it's inconsistent. But watching Giannis in the finals and watching him really like you can see it in his face and his demeanor when he goes up to take the free throws. Like he's almost just like a stoic stone wall, and he's just like standing there like nothing matters. He's just about to put the free throw in. But you'll notice it when he's nervous, and I wonder if it's like certain guys really get to him like that, or if it's just like a crowd thing, or just like himself getting to himself. Like
it's just him. It has nothing to do with anybody else, because if you watch his game, he really looks at the rest of these guys like, yo, you can't do nothing with me.
Yeah, he's like Shaq. Nothing. Yeah,
that's how he's looking at these guys. Like, you can't cover me. But it's more upstairs for him when he's doing the things that he's deficient in. So like I just said, shooting the mid-range, right? Not just shooting the mid-range, shooting free throws. It's all upstairs. If he could just turn his brain off and just do it instead of trying to do it, I think he'd be much more effective. So, all right, brother, good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
Yeah. He would just be so much more effective if he did that. He'd be incredible. No doubt about that. So, what up? Why are these dudes on here? What up? Yo. What up?
Man, shut your bitch ass up. Nigga, nobody asked you out a bitch ass thing. You better shut the fuck up before I knock your fucking head off your shoulder, little ugly ass bitch.
That's what we doing. That's what we doing. We got so we got a troll in here. That's what we got. Yeah. We got a troll in here. Word. That's what we got. I bet you any amount of money to any of y'all in here. This dude right here, I bet you if he saw me face to face, he wouldn't say that to me. I bet you that. Man, I know you a bitch. I'm not on the fence about it. I'm not thinking. I know for a fact that I bet you if you saw me face, I bet you wouldn't say that to my face. I bet you would. So goofy ass off my damn live. Fuck out of here. Talk about goofballs, right? Talk about goofballs. What up?
What's up, OG?
What up with you?
What up? So I had this little debate with my friends. We was talking about Derrick Rose and how he had like a devastating injury when he tore his ACL and he was never the same after that. And one of my friends said that if he never would have got injured, possibly he could have won a ring for Chicago. And I say I disagree with that because the only way he would probably even get out the East, he had to get through LeBron because everybody called him the boogeyman in the East. So I just want to get your take on that.
Well, you look at what was going on in the East and that Bulls team in the 2010-2011 season. I mean, let's just say for the sake of argument that Derrick Rose doesn't get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the best team that they had, right?
Yeah.
The Heat mopped them dudes
Mm-hmm.
in 5 games. Mopped them
5 games.
mopped them right out the playoffs. And they got better. So let's just say for the sake of argument, the Bulls get better, right? Derrick Rose doesn't get hurt, he gets better. Joakim Noah, he gets better, right? Luol Deng, he gets better. With all of that being said, and then the Heat also get better. So with the Heat getting better, they already smoked them dudes.
Yeah.
And they're gonna get better.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see Chicago getting past them. I can't see it. No.
What about when LeBron went back to the Cavs? You think he still probably might have a shot at least? Or maybe like later on in his career?
Nah, because I think that at that point he was just so locked in and he was on a ride that was so beneficial for everybody else. It was like, yo, let's get on this train right here because this train is a freight train that's not going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This train is a train that's not going to stop, and we better get on it and get on it now. That's why he did what he did with Wade. That's why he did what he did with Chris Bosh. That's why he did what he did with Erd. That's why he did what he did with Kevin Love. And these dudes basically benefited. He benefited from running with them.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about that. He benefited from running with them, but they benefited from running with him too, man. They did. And that Chicago Bulls team, as good as they were, I think it would have been real difficult for them.
Yeah, because people forget Jimmy Butler was on the rise too during this time. But he was still a kid though. I mean, they got him in 2011. I mean, do you really expect Jimmy Butler to in 2015? Do you think that crew is even going to still be together? 4 years? I don't even know if they're still going to be together. But why would they make some trades for him though? Like even if they were still together, like I don't see anything trading for him.
The reason why they would do that is the same reason. The reason why they would do that is the same reason why. The reason why they would do that is the same reason why the Warriors did what they did in adding Kevin Durant. Because if you look at that unit and after them beating them, the Warriors knew, yo, we can't beat these dudes with what we got. We can't. They're just too much. They're better than us. So because they better than us, right? Because they're better than us, we either got to add something or we got to blow this whole thing up. What up, Rufus? How you doing, brother? We gotta add something or we got to blow this thing up. And I think that if Kevin Durant doesn't get on that crew in 17, and let's just say for the sake of argument, the Warriors get past them, right? Let's just say for the sake of argument, the Warriors get past them. I think they smoked them dudes. I think Cleveland smokes them dudes in 17. And now, 2 years in a row, we can't keep this crew together. So if you look at the Chicago Bulls losing in 5 games, this isn't like with the Bulls with Jay, where they lost to the Pistons in 88 in 5 games. Well, they actually got better next year, and they lost in 6 games in 89 in the East Finals. And then the next year, they lose in 7 games. So we're making progress. There's no reason to blow this thing up. If y'all smoking these dudes, And not only are y'all smoking these dudes, this Heat team is getting better. Now we have to look at moving in a different direction because there's no way we could keep this unit together. We're just not good enough.
Yeah, I kind of see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, OG.
All right, brother. Good to talk to you.
All right.
Yeah. So that's what's going on there. I thought that was interesting. I got a call on line one.
It's me.
Hello, Julie. Hello, Jillian dear.
How are
things?
you?
Sitting here watching. I'm flipping back and forth between the Celtics, Knicks, and Heat Philly.
Oh, how are we doing? I don't have it on.
It's just halftime, and the Heat are +8. And I know you don't want to hear this, Jill, but I'm watching Embiid on Saturday night against the Celtics, and you know what I'm watching, Jill? I'm watching a guy who gives me Patrick Ewing vibes. What I mean when I say that is he's awesome, just not good enough.
Like, I hear what you're saying, but at least this time there was an actual fight that like was put up. Like most of the times we just get our ass kicked.
Roll over.
At least this time it was close, and the shot at the end, I really thought it was counted, but
I thought it went in. I was like, yo! I was like, what?
I know, but yeah, it's and I heard you earlier talking about Boston and Milwaukee and just how that's going to be, everybody already knows it's going to be the Eastern Conference Finals, but I still have like a glimmer of hope.
I don't think it's no. Hang on, Jill. I don't think it's over. I don't think it's just a foregone conclusion. If you guys can avoid Boston, because they got your number. I don't know what it is about Boston.
Yeah,
but they have your number.
I'm kind of hoping to, out of the two of them, to see Milwaukee because, and this is going to sound so bad. I do not wish.
I already know where you're going with this.
Injury on anyone.
I think you're right.
Like, there's been a number of times this season where it's either been Middleton or Giannis or something happens. And obviously I don't want that for anyone, but at the same time, it's like, but then, you know, Embiid gets hurt all the time too. So I don't know. It's a toss-up, but
it's kind of tricky.
Way.
I look at this Philly team, Jill, and I look at your boys, and Embiid is clearly the guy he's what Anthony Davis is to the Lakers. We're going as far as you're going to take us, big fella. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why I get the Ewing vibe. And the reason why I get the Ewing vibe, it's not because he's not awesome, because he's absolutely phenomenal. I just look at what's going on with the rest of the dynamic in the NBA, particularly in the East, and I'm thinking to myself, does he have enough to get them past Boston? He could go head-to-head with Giannis.
Yeah.
Can he outplay Giannis, though? Do they have enough to get past them? That's the $1 million question. Do they have enough to get past them? Because I think that he could match Giannis. I think that he could match Jayson Tatum. I think that he could do that. And if the Philadelphia 76ers are in the finals, Jill, you know what that's telling me? We're there on the strength
that
of Joel
I'm
Embiid.
Dead, and it didn't happen.
You are going to be allowed to see it, Jill. You are. You are going to be allowed to see it, Jill. I'm telling you, you are. With a guy like
Doc, I can't see it. And you know, this is what I do to myself though. If I have no expectations, I can't be let down. So, you know, but I hear what you're saying.
No, I know where you're at with it. You can't put that much faith in Doc. As much as you love Embiid, as much as you love that group, at some point, Doc is going to do something to screw this thing up.
He already kind of did it the other day with the Celtics game. At the end, I felt like what was that? Anyway, that was just. But still, man. I have a glimmer. This isn't my question, but did you see that LeBron is going to be out for like multiple weeks?
Here's the problem that we have, Jill. the problem that we're having is that he's been so good for so long that we forget, for lack of a better term, Chill, he's old.
Yeah.
He's not going to keep doing this, guys. He's going to break. He's breaking down.
Like, I see all these commentators on TV, like, the Lakers are going to gun for the 6th seed. I'm like, what? How? How are they going to do that?
They're not.
I mean, I made, like, after this 5-game stretch, I think they went, 4-1?
Yes.
So, like, if nothing happened health-wise, maybe the 8th seed. That's even pushing it, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that wasn't my question. My question was to kind of go back to the Joker discourse. I feel like, and it's like a fine line to walk on, but I feel like if he wins his 3rd MVP this year, which he probably will at this, unless something drastic happens, I think he will. If he like doesn't make the finals, at least, I feel like people are gonna, this is a bad way to put it, but it's the only way that makes sense in my head, start like equating maybe like one of his MVPs, kind of how people view like Kevin Durant's Golden State rings, kind of like they don't matter as much. And it's not a good way to look at things, but it's such a like battle back and forth to where it's like, I know it's a regular season award, but at some point you've got to also show that like you can do more than that. And now he has the opportunity to do it. And I realize in the past he hasn't, but it's just, I don't know. It's like a slippery slope that I go back and forth with in my brain because I really like him.
Let me ask you this question, Jill. If he wins, let's say he wins the 3rd league MVP in a row, and let's say that Denver ends up making it to the West Finals.
Yeah.
How much different are we talking about Joker than Steve Nash?
I don't know.
Is it that much different? I mean, Steve
if
Nash
that's
did.
All he gets to?
Yeah, that's it. That's as far as he goes. Because Steve Nash did that twice, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say it'd be that different in the way people talk about him. I mean, though, not in the, because they're obviously two completely different players, but just
with the extra league MVP, but still going as far as only this guy. You just got an extra league MVP. Are we talking about him that much differently than we talk about Steve Nash?
Yeah. I mean, maybe a little bit just for the number of sheer MVPs and in the way that it happened back to back to back.
Right.
But it's just so tricky because I really like him as a player and I root for him. But, and again, I realize these past couple of years, it has just not been like, there was no way he was going to get there. But now it's like, okay, you're the 1 seed. Let's.
Warriors are beat up. Memphis, there's a lot of uncertainties with them. Phoenix, they traded away what they traded away. The Clippers are still unsure with Leonard. He playing as great as he's playing right now, but health has always been an issue with him. So this is probably the best opportunity that you guys have this season to get there. This is probably the best opportunity that you have. So if they don't do it this year.
Yeah, if you had to pick, I know you said, you think the West still goes to Golden State, but if you had to pick right now, would you pick them to be in the finals?
I'm not picking, again, until somebody bounces them, Jill, they're the team to beat. But I think Denver has the best opportunity to make it out of the West. Of all the teams in the Western Conference, I think Denver has the best opportunity right now.
Yeah.
Because until I see Curry, Dre, and Clay, until I see somebody show them 3 when they're in the lineup, until I see somebody show them 3 the door, I think that they're the team to beat in the West. They have to be.
Yeah, so, they still scare me, but
that's what it is. All righty, Jill. Right. Good to see you, dear.
Talk to you.
Yep, you know where to find me at. I'm not hard to find.
I do.
All righty, Jill. Good to see you.
Have a good one.
One more, and then I gotta bounce. That's my girl, Jill. And just so you guys know, Jill knows basketball, right? Jill comes through. She'll kick it. She'll talk basketball with us. Jill knows basketball. There's plenty of chicks that know basketball, and that's all it is. Just so you guys know, plenty of chicks who know basketball. So. Mm-hmm. What up? What up? I can hear you.
Oh, nigga don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
Man, get your goofy ass out of here. Get out of here, goofy ass nigga. Anyway, so it's about that time. It was good to see y'all. I got to shake the spot. I will see y'all soon. I'm here on Monday nights, as y'all know. Right? I'm here on Monday nights, as y'all know. I'm on a panel on Tuesday night. Right? I'm on a panel on Tuesday night. I'm back here on Mondays at 5 o'clock. Chill with Chill. Me and my man Big Ox, we get it done. And then on Thursday nights, me and Big Ox, we get it done. And then I'm not on Thursday nights. I'm sorry. On Thursday nights, it's me, Tone, and Playmaker Haley. We definitely doing it, and it's dope. So you guys know where to find me. Channel Chilltown, what up, brother? Sound like Chilltown is in the house for real, for real. So that's what's up. I will see you guys soon. But until then, take it light, but take it.